Hello and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. Welcome to Season 4. I'm Eva Maria, your Monday hostess for this season. And speaking of my different slot, there will be some changes in this season. We have decided that instead of having videos 7 days a week, we will be posting 5 Monday through Friday. And the new lineup for this season will be, I will be hosting your Monday episodes, your Monday videos. Tuesday we will have Rhiannon hosting. Wednesday, Nimbus will be hosting. Thursday, Natalie will be hosting. And Friday we will have Ori. So that's going to be our new lineup. We have three sub-hosts this season as well. Lisa, you all know Lisa, and also Bravehawk and Houston. Those will be our sub-hosts. So we'll have 5 videos each week. You'll get your Saturday and Sunday off. And we'll be having 1 extra video each month where one of our sub-hosts will discuss the monthly moon. So I think that would be pretty interesting and pretty fun. That said, this first week of Season 4, our topic is cleansing rituals. So I am here to speak my mind on that, to share a little bit with you on that. That said, let's jump right into the topic. First of all, I went to dictionary.reference.com, okay, just to pull up the specific definition of a ritual. I think a lot of us, when we hear ritual, we think of religious rites or spiritual practices. The definition, I think the most appropriate definition that I found anyway, because there were several listed at dictionary.reference.com, is any practice or pattern of behavior regularly performed in a set manner. Now, while cleansings can be done in any number of ways, and we need not have a limited number of set ways of cleansing. Excuse me if I'm looking down, I'm referring to notes. I think it's appropriate that cleansing methods are often referred to as rituals. Because generally speaking, we as practitioners tend to gravitate toward our own preferred set methods of cleansing. And we do tend to perform our preferred methods of cleansing somewhat regularly or often. This, I think, is something we should do, because negative or stifling energies tend to accumulate over time, whether intentionally or unintentionally. So from time to time, on a reoccurring basis, cleansing is, I feel, necessary. It's a good idea anyway. Another thing I wanted to touch upon is I think a lot of people they closely associate the idea of cleansing with having a negative entity or energy in your home and you got to get it out. Or I think a lot of people, when they think of cleansing, the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh my God, someone threw some ill intent on me and I have to cleanse that off, you know, or something like that. That's not always the case. Cleansings also aren't just for your home or yourself. They can be for your possessions, your tools, your spell work ingredients before working. They can be for new or secondhand items that you acquire. The reason why I say new is that when things are created, you know, or when things are gathered, or when things have been owned and then you acquire, let's say, like a secondhand, like, you know, an antique or a secondhand item, so a hand-me-down, something of that nature. Whoever had it before, whoever handled it, whatever its history was, may not always be positive, you know. I mean, along the way, you know, it could have picked up some maybe frustrated energy or sad energy or, you know, angry energy or whatever. You know, it could have accumulated something or some things in terms of energetic vibes that aren't, I guess you could say, conducive to positivity, well-being, that sort of thing. So I feel that when you acquire something, it is a good idea to cleanse it, you know, whether it's a new thing, because hey, in the process of its manufacture or in the process of its being gathered or whatever, sold, shipped, people do handle the item along the way. And the feelings that those people are feeling, the situations they're going through, you know, we all have our subtle bodies, and our subtle bodies always have varying energies, you know, about them. Sometimes, let's say you sent out for an item in the mail, you ordered something, and your mailman's going to deliver it to your house, you know, or all the people in the post office, they're all progressively touching the package and whatever, moving it along on its process of getting to you. Well, if a lot of those people are really frustrated because their job sucks, or they're pissed off, or I didn't get the weekend off, or whatever their feelings are, and they're handling your package, well, it's going to get to you, and odds are it may pick up some of that frustrated energy, so it's just a good idea to cleanse, you know, whether it's new, or if you're going into an antique shop, you don't know the history of the item you're taking home. It's not always a happy history. Okay, I think I beat that one to death. You get what I'm saying. Cleansings can also be for your pets because, hey, they can't cleanse themselves, you know. It's not easy when you don't have opposable thumbs, you know what I'm saying? Your workspace, cleansings can be done in your workspace, your vehicle as well. There's so many things, places, people, anyone, anything, or any place may potentially need cleansing from time to time. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, in terms of methods of cleansing, there are so many. I mean, the sky is pretty much the limit. Excuse me while I take a drag on my e-cigarette. I'm going to list some ways, some potential ways, in terms of methods that, you know, a lot of people use. Examples of cleansing methods, of cleansing rituals. Or these can be components to cleansing rituals as well. And I say this because cleansings can be simple or complex. They can involve one method or many methods kind of put together. There's no wrong way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? Examples. A lot of people, for example, when they think of let's say, cleansing a space, some of the first things that come to mind, smudging or running incense through the place. Whereas smudging is concerned, people that do that, generally sage is very popular, but also things like sweetgrass or cedar can be used for smudging. Incense, you can use any kind of incense that is of a cleansing nature, or an opening or clearing sort of nature for this. A lot of people do prefer to use resins for cleansing spaces or things, you know, so you can run things through incense too for cleansing. Many people prefer the resins though, because they feel that it's more of a pure form of the incense. I feel incense is incense myself, though many do prefer the resins. And in terms of choosing a sort of an incense resin or an incense blend, whether it's like an herbal incense or a stick or a cone or whatever, what have you, some good, popular, effective choices might be frankincense and or myrrh, benzoin, copal, things of that nature. Some people even, instead of using the sage bundles like in the smudging, they will use, let's say, white sage incense or just sage incense, or, you know, there's so many things you can use. Lemongrass is something people like to use too. Lemongrass incense, like cones or sticks or what have you. Okay, that's said. So you got the smudging and you got the incense. So you can take incense through a place, you can run items through incense smoke, you can smudge a place. You can also sprinkle or spray with, places or items with blessed waters, spiritual colognes, like for example, Florida water or peace water or bay rum, or sometimes grain alcohols will be used for this. Certain paths, for example, they will utilize grain alcohols where a person who is trained in, let's say, some of the deeper mysteries, how to do things, for their community or what have you. Sometimes certain cultures, certain paths, practices, there are people that will take the grain alcohol into their mouth and they will spray it over a person or an item as a part of a greater rite of cleansing, or things of that nature. Cleansing, banishing, that sort of thing. But yeah, grain alcohols, I have found, honestly, for sprinkling or spraying, in terms of, you can use a spray bottle, you can use, I guess you could say, a sprig of, a branch or a sprig of something natural, a tree, a shrub, with a bowl filled with the substance you wish to sprinkle. You can dip it and sprinkle it, or you can even take your hands and sprinkle. I have found that rubbing alcohols, believe it or not just grain alcohols, not just like perfume alcohols, rubbing alcohols, wintergreen alcohol, I have found works for cleansings as well. For cleansing things, for cleansing places, use what you can get. If all you can afford is like that $1 bottle of wintergreen alcohol, that will work. And it's good too if you can soak some herbs in there for cleansing as well. So that's something you could do. You can use salt waters, or even some people use things like rainwater or, seawater or river water. There's so many different waters that you can use for sprinkling or spraying in various methods, whether it be a space, a person, an item. And also, in terms of, we spoke of spraying, there are aerosols that people often utilize. These are manufactured for the purpose of magical intentions. There are some out there that are made for cleansing, for, banishing, clearing, opening, those sorts of things. Those can be utilized as well. Or even you can make your own, using maybe essential oils of a cleansing nature, maybe either in alcohol or in maybe like in a distilled water. You can maybe make a blend like that, and you can go and put it in a spray bottle, spray it around, So that's some possible examples that can be utilized for cleansing. Also, oils can be utilized to anoint or draw symbols or sigils of a banishing nature on people, places, or things. Prayers, obviously, can be used for cleansing. Candle burnings can be used for cleansing. I have also heard of people using fire in general, burning, let's say, papers upon which they've written things that they wish to clear away, cleanse away. They'll write them on paper, maybe using an ink or a pen that they reserve only for magical workings. And they will, put their intention into writing out what it is that they wish to be rid of, and they will burn that piece of paper in fire. Fire is considered cleansing. Fire is spirit. So in a sense, they are destroying that thing. And this something like this would be best, I think, done during a waning moon phase or at a time of like decrease or banishing. You can even refer to your planetary hours and their correspondences for a great time to sort of be rid of something like that, combined with a waning moon phase. Let's see, what else? Floor washes. They're called floor washes, but you can use them not just on your floors throughout your home. You can use them all over your house. I mean, you can wipe down the walls with them. You can wipe down surfaces, whatever. Floor washes, particularly in the case of cleansings, because they can be for many, many things. In the case of cleansing, you are cleaning your house, but you are also spiritually cleansing your house. The washes have ingredients that do clean, but they do cleanse at the same time. This is great for multitaskers. But the floor washes are especially popular in like hoodoo circles and people in circles of people, communities of people that practice hoodoo. I think a lot of people that are also into past like Santeria, they are also very, very into the floor washes and stuff. But anybody can use the floor washes. It's not like you have to be on a set path. You can be in any path or in kind of your own path, whatever path you're on, it doesn't matter, you know, like go where you're led, do what you feel resonates with you. So if you feel like you want to try a floor wash, you go ahead and you try that floor wash. I'm sure it'll work fine for you. Baths. You can do cleansing baths. You can use sound, the energy of sound to cleanse a space or to cleanse the self. Things like chanting, chimes, bells, drums, usually percussion. Percussion tends to be used, I think, most often for sort of cleansing, for the I guess the sound waves sort of clear out the space, you know. But when there's also the concept that if you're doing something like chanting or vibration of sacred names, you can also utilize that same sound, you know, that vibration or that chanting to clear your subtle energy bodies, and therefore you can also use it to cleanse yourself. Or if someone else happens to be in the space with you and you are working, let's say, to help them to cleanse their self, I'm sure you can use sound, you know, chanting, vibration of sacred names or affirmations or sounds or what have you to also cleanse their subtle energy bodies as well. Crystal grids are often used for cleansing, you know, energies. Citrine is very good for these, for crystal grids, for cleansing, as they are self-cleansing. You can use other kinds of crystals as well. I find, believe it or not, black river rocks are great sponges for negativity. I don't know why, but they just are. I will often get them because they're really inexpensive, and I will put one in every room of my house. And I'll just kind of let them sit there, and they suck in all the negative energy over time. And then what happens is, after a little while, I will gather them all up, and I will cleanse them, usually in like a salt water soak or in an alcohol soak overnight. And then I will, in the morning, dump out the salt water and rinse all of the stones and the vessel that I soaked them in very well. I'll rinse everything out. And then I'll dry them off and put them all back. That brings me to the salt water soaking, or soaking maybe in an alcohol or in a blessed water or in spiritual cologne or in grain alcohol. You can use any of those to soak something to cleanse it. Be sure it's not something that's going to dissolve in liquid and that will not, if you're using alcohol, be damaged by alcohol. If you're doing something even like water or salt water, I just want to let you know, don't soak something like selenite. Selenite is a crystal that will dissolve on you if you try that method. Please be aware if you're going to use that method of what you are going to be putting in there and will it survive the process. Also, when you do the soakings, I have found you should not use the same water to soak something else after you've soaked something already. Because item number 2 that you put in to that same liquid, that salt water or alcohol or whatever, item number 2 is going to absorb all of what came out of item number 1. So that's why I said dump out the salt water or dump out the alcohol, whatever it is you're using to soak to cleanse an item. Dump that out, rinse everything off. I have found that's the best thing to do, because I have found if you try to reuse that liquid, the second item you put in there is going to suck in what the first item, you know, was cleansed of. That's not something you're going to want, I think. So there's that. And what else? What else? What else? Sunlight. A lot of people like sunlight or moonlight. Again, be careful what you put out in sunlight. Amethysts, for example. If you're going to try and cleanse an amethyst in sunlight, over time it will lose its beautiful purple color. The sun will bleach that out if you do that regularly as your preferred cleansing ritual for your amethyst stone. So please do, again, be aware of what you put out in the sunlight. Some things will bleach out. You know, some crystals may bleach out. Be aware of that. Amethysts are very, very prone to bleaching out in sunlight. I don't know why. They just are. So yeah, these are some examples that I can, that I can give you in terms of methods. But I mean, the sky's the limit. There are just so many ways. I mean, if you were to look up the concept of cleansing, how to cleanse, you'd be surprised how many ways you could find. As I said before, they can be simple, they can be complex. You can use one or more of the methods I listed, or even methods I forgot to list or that didn't occur to me. There's so many things you can do, just so many. That said, I think I'm going to wrap up this video here. I'm going to have some links for you in the description of things relating to cleansing, cleansing methods, one of which will be from my personal channel. So I hope you're going to like that. It's on a bath/floor wash. You can use it for either or both. I'm going to have that for you in the description. I'm going to have some other people's videos, some other informational links in terms of cleansing. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I've shared something with you that, may have given you some food for thought, may have inspired you in some way, or, I hope I've shared with you something maybe you didn't know before or didn't consider. Because that's what I aim to do, always. I aim to be helpful. And I look forward to seeing everyone else's videos this week. I look forward to seeing what Rhiannon, Nimbus, Natalie, and Ori have to share with us. Or if our sub-hosts happen to step in, I'd like to see, or see and hear what they have to say as well. That said, until our next exchange, blessed be and ashe, stay awesome, and bye-bye for now.